Hello friends, it's TechMan Pat here, and I hope that you're not too disappointed by the recent Apple event. I know it's always exciting to see new gadgets, iPhones, watches and iPads come to us mere mortals, but sometimes things are so underwhelming we realize how boring it is, and then they are. You know, at least Samsung tries to change things up every so often. I think Apple is playing catch up at this stage with the rest of the mobile world. On one side, their stubbornness to change keeps their current customers happy, and their ecosystems, well, they stop them from changing, but not really bringing in any new customers into the fold from what I can see. Now, much like the NBN, who are also playing catch up and trying to bring new customers in with offers that are just as disappointing and underwhelming. Look, thanks for tapping on this video. Today we are going to discuss quite a few topics in small, bite-sized chunks, I hope, starting with the recent comments about the NBN's actual value by the Vocus Group and their prices, Telstra blocking spam calls, delays on the digital rollout of New South Wales drivers' licenses, and the Kiwis are not happy with Kogan. Oof, what has he done this time? Actually, let's start off with Kogan because I had a really good response to that thing. What has he done this time? You ready? It's what hasn't he done? Not only is Kogan selling mobile plans, general trash, gadgets, toys from China, Kogan branded appliances, Kogan NBN, Kogan travel insurance. Actually, I'm not even sure if I can list all the pies the fella's got his fingers in. So, Kogan launched their mobile service offerings in New Zealand last week. The launch, well, didn't go without some controversy. Around the 6th of September, Skinny, a New Zealand mobile mob, complained that Kogan's use of the color orange and white was a deliberate ploy to confuse the already confusing market. Now, Skinny is the budget version of Spark, which is, well, they used to be called Telecom, which is very much like our own Telstra and Belong. You know, big companies, offshoots with smaller ones trying to fool the people into buying apparently budget-oriented services that are just the same, but a different brand. Anyway, so what's the issue? Well, apparently Spark and Skinny are not happy that Kogan is using the white and orange colors in their marketing, making their brand too similar to Kogan's NZ spin-off. Now, the fun part comes in the response to the letter that Spark and Skinny sent to Mr. Kogan in confidentiality. But Kogan believes in being very open with its customers, so he let that letter out. Let me read this response for you. Kia ora, neighbors, thanks very much for your letter. Given that we haven't wasted any money on expensive ads, we really appreciate that you noticed that we've moved in. It's amazing how quickly word of an awesome deal spreads, isn't it? Very cheeky. You say you've been using the same orange and white writing for 5 years? Really? Come on, mix it up a little bit, live a little bit. We've been using that color, as well as many others, for many years across the ditch, and other telcos also use orange and white too. We have hundreds of thousands of customers in Australia. I don't know about that, but we haven't been in New Zealand for long. We only launched last week, but we expect to make a big bang. I do appreciate a bit of company-to-company banter, so this comes off very positive for Kogan. Especially entering the market, this is just free publicity. Really, I'm not sure what the Skinny Sparkies were thinking at this stage because, come on, you've just let everybody know that Kogan's here. Look, there is more to the letter, and the reply is definitely a bit of tongue-in-cheek, so feel free to check out the original letter from Spark and Kogan's reply. I have linked them below in the description. Quick spoiler, Kogan has now gone hot pink for their New Zealand site. Just a quick note, if you enjoy these news updates about Aussie tech, then tap that like button, and if you want to see more, consider supporting us by subscribing to our channel. Now let's hop back across the ditch. NBN Co's pricings are tipped to rise, something that many believe is going to further disconnect the people from the World Wide Web and further drive the nails with a hammer into the NBN coffin. It might all sound overly dramatic, but a price hike is not what we need right now. As you may remember, NBN Co asked its partners to tell them what they think of the pricing structure and the future of the NBN. The response, by far, was lower the pricing, get rid of the CVC charging model, and look, we expect NBN Co to come back with an outcome within the next 3 to 4 weeks, and many believe the response will not be positive. So the Vocus CEO Kevin Russell has come out and said two things. First off, the ACCC needs to step in and do something about the pricing of the NBN. The ACCC is supposed to stand up for the customers since So far, the NBN has not. Ultimately, the ACCC is the backup option for a positive outcome for everyone. The idea is to reduce the entry cost of the NBN and reduce the variability in cost between each RSP. In theory, this should bring lower prices for the general consumer, but also make it easier for all the RSPs to compete across the board. Thinking back to Telstra, our biggest RSP, they too are complaining they can't compete, though I have many doubts about them. Now, many RSPs are getting hit in the bottom line on the lowest plans, not the highest, after the changes the NBN Co made to its pricing of entry-level NBN. And if the RSPs are hurting, soon the people will feel the pinch. In any case, if you are in an area that is only serviced by 1 or 2 providers, think wireless, your expenses will probably be unchanged. So this is not going to benefit all Australians. Let me know what you guys think below. Should the ACCC throw their hat in the ring and do something about it? Or is it going to be the ace up in the sleeve right at 5 to midnight? To top it all off, Kevin Russell continued to discuss the value of the NBN. You see, the NBN expenditure of $51 billion doesn't mean the NBN is worth $51 billion. In fact, at the current state, it's worth a fraction of that, according to market experts. He said that NBN's decision-making is driven as a monopoly targeting financial returns rather than consumers' needs and market reality. I think the market reality really drags it home. Something we discussed last week. Well, yes, the NBN Co needs to make money. The only way it will make money is in the long run and maybe hopefully become a viable asset for Australia. That's if it puts its customers first. Without the customers, there is no NBN. But like I said last week, there is no other option than the NBN. So it's not like you can go elsewhere for your internet. Hopefully maybe 5G one day, which means they can do whatever they want and concentrate on making money. So let's move on. In the whack-a-mole game of scams, Telstra released a report stating they have blocked over 2.9 million scam calls in July this year. Quite the number, you might say, but that's quite short of the actual calls that are getting through, that are in the millions, much more, tens of millions. The scam industry is worth billions, and every time you take one down, another one pops up. Our favorite CEO, Andy Penn, has asked the government to step in and look into this problem. And I have to agree, these scammers target our most vulnerable members of our community. And it's not how smart you are or anything like that. These scammers are very good at what they do, and they will prey on people's insecurities and other issues surrounding them. They will pick those up very quickly, even current events like the NBN. So look out for those scam NBN calls. They've been happening more often than not. So yes, the government needs to step in, but what can they do? I don't have the answers. Have you guys got any solutions? Let us know in the comments below, and it'll probably be a bit of a topic that we might discuss in future videos. Now, finally, let's look at New South Wales. When I heard about the Digital Driver's License initiative, I thought to myself, about time. It's such a good way to move us into the future. Like when we move to RFID cards for public transport, I think it's just great. To that end, it would be great to use your mobile also for public transport. Now, in any case, the New South Wales government has been working on rolling out a digital driver's license. It's been across the news a few times. And last month, it was supposed to be D-Day, the month it goes live. Unfortunately, due to stability issues, that date has been pushed back. Personally, I am glad they are pushing this back. It is a very difficult system to put in place. Think of the fact that once something is digital, it is open to a lot more potentials of modifications in the criminal sense, and I expect a lot of work has gone into preventing that. Part of the prevention is storing the data securely on the device itself, so there will be device-specific actions you will need to take to install and set it up, and I expect not to be able to just log in on a new device willy-nilly. The expected take-up in the first 12 months is supposed to be huge, and I imagine that the reason it is because of the amount of times you go for a drive and you forget your license. You might not get caught that day, but another day it might happen, and it's a pity to have to go back, get your license, go to the police stations, check in. It's rather inconvenient, including the loss of the card itself. Now, a couple of questions that arise from this. Well, let's say you're getting a new mobile phone plan. Are they going to scan your phone? And will they continue to print the plastic cards and do both digital and plastic at the same time? I know the trials have been doing it, but What if you get pulled over and your phone has no batteries? Will the police have to charge it for you, or what's going to happen with that? Trials have been ongoing with very positive feedback. Dubbo was the first region city to take part in the trial in late 2017, so this has been going on for a while, followed by Sydney's eastern suburbs last year and the border city of Albury earlier this year. While participants of the pilot are still required to carry their physical and driver's license, the full rollout will see citizens able to produce either a digital or physical version of their license when requested. And that's pretty exciting. I'm really excited. So part of me thinks, well, it's good that they've held it back because we don't want this to become a big issue. I mean, imagine you're in front of the cop and the app's just not working. That's going to be a bit embarrassing and a bit ridiculous. Friends, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, tap that like button and consider supporting us by subscribing. And look, thanks for watching again, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!